Have you ever wondered what unfolds when you start to expose a narcissist? When you start to actually expose who they actually are, what happens? What happens when you show the world who they actually are and what they've actually done? You see, there could be a lot of different things that happen when you start to expose a narcissist's true colors to society, to the world, to the friends, to the family, to the interactions, to the people that they have around you. First and foremost, I want to put just a side note, like, please be careful. You might be dealing with a narcissist, you might be dealing with a sociopath, you might be dealing with a psychopath. You have no clue sometimes. So I want you to be very careful. If you go down this road of exposing, it needs to be with great caution, and it needs to be a lot of times with protective measures put in place, because you need to make sure that your physical safety is absolutely important. And your emotional and mental safety as well. But your physical safety is very important, because sometimes you might be with someone that you try to expose them and they retaliate in ways that are not just words, but are actually violence. So please be careful. So if you guys are new here, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel trying to help people break free from narcissistic abuse. I help people break free by breaking them out of the trauma bond, the rumination, the intrusive thoughts, the stories that they're telling themselves placed upon them through their childhood, through the narcissist, oftentimes keeping you stuck and sedated in a toxic relationship. Today, when we dive into this aspect of exposing a narcissist, some of it hits home for me because there's pieces that I was exposed and pieces that I came forward and exposed myself. And oftentimes this exposure piece for a narcissist is stepping into the world of honesty and vulnerability. The two biggest things that narcissists hate and are running from, because it exposes and reveals the aspect of shame and guilt of who they are and what they've actually done. It breaks down the mask, the version of themselves that they're putting out for the world to see versus the reality of what's actually underneath the surface. So what happens when this happens? First off, like when the mask slips, what you're going to see a lot of times is a lot of rage and a lot of defensiveness. We'll talk a little bit more later today about rage and what that looks like, how narcissist justifies it. But you understand when that mask slips, a lot of times all hell breaks loose. Because for a brief moment, you've seen or someone else has seen the issues that are actually underneath the surface. This exposes shame of like, wait a second, the person that I say I am, I'm not actually, and people are seeing me for the abusive person that I actually am. This oftentimes starts to get really frustrating for a narcissist because the facade, the mask, the things that have been crafted start to crumble down. This is the piece that I hated because I started to lose my image to certain people. Certain people left, certain people got frustrated, certain people were like, yeah, you're not the person that I thought you were. Because they started to realize that I was a cheater, that I was an abuser, that I was a liar. And as a result, it repulsed a lot of people. It should, because those are awful things. And what happens is when that shame comes up, there's this piece of like rage, and there's this piece of like, well, you don't understand, I'm a victim here, all this kind of stuff that comes out. Narcissists will go to great lengths to maintain this idealized image, this picture perfect aspect of who they actually are. When you start to pull the curtain back on that, and you start to unveil their true nature, it threatens image and it threatens ego. So it threatens the aspects of like, but I'm good enough, I'm great enough, and I look good enough to other people. As a result, oftentimes you're going to see different pieces come up. One of them is going to be anger, is going to be rage, coming out at you, coming out even at other people. Because it's like a frustration of like, I'm getting exposed, I don't know what to do, let me rage out. Oftentimes because rage is one of the easiest emotions for a narcissist to feel and to face because they don't really dabble in a lot of other emotions. That's just like a catch-all. Feel this way, rage. Feel this way, anger. Feel this way, pissed off. Because it's easier to do. And so narcissists a lot of times will feel this rage bubble up because they're like, you're going to expose me. That's going to produce this shame. That's going to produce this piece that's going to hurt my ego. That's going to hurt my image. Like, this can't happen. And they just rage out, trying to make sure that you actually stay quiet about it, trying to scare you. Well, a lot of times they'll be like blame shifting. Well, it's not my fault. I'm the victim. You're the one that made me do this. You're the one that pushed me to this. You're the reason why I cheated on you. You're the reason why I hit you. All these things, trying to twist and manipulate the story, trying to get super defensive to protect fragile self-esteem, to protect this image that they've created that's not actually real. The person that you fell in love with is not real. The person you got engaged with is not real. The person that you married is not real. What you see now underneath the mask, what you see now under the abusive behavior, what you see now, that person that's coming out raging at you, that's real. It's just the entire time that you haven't seen that, it's been covered with a mask. There's been a different costume, a different coat of paint over that version that you never got to see. Think of this way. Imagine like you're confronting your narcissistic partner about cheating or about something that he's been doing that's manipulative. And instead of there being like a piece of like accountability and responsibility, he's instantly responding with explosive anger. How dare you accuse me of cheating? I can't believe you would bring this up. Do you really think I would be cheating on you? Trying to shift the thought process so that you're not even acknowledging the stuff that he's done. I can't believe you'd attack me this way. I can't believe that you'd say those things. Like, you're accusing me. Like, if anything, I'd be worried about you cheating on me. And all of a sudden it gets thrown back onto you, shifting the blame onto you. Or there's undeniable proof and they actually admit it. And they're like, well, yeah, I cheated on you because you wouldn't put out. You wouldn't actually do the things I wanted you to do. You wouldn't give me sex. You wouldn't open up. You were closed off. So yeah, why would I not go to someone else? Because of you, and all of a sudden it becomes your fault. And the blame game switched around and it's all put on you. Now, this is a hard part that my wife struggled with because I would blame her for cheating. I would blame her for her not being open enough, for emotionally connected, and make her feel bad for my choices. I need you to hear that. I would make her feel bad for my choices. Not the choices that she forced on me, not the things that she said I had to do, because she didn't tell me to go cheat, but the choices that I made. Here's the difference you need to understand. The narcissist in your life that cheated on you, that hurt you, that abused you, he made that choice. He made a choice that I'm going to lie to this person instead of be honest. He made that choice, I'm going to cheat on this person instead of be truthful. Made that choice. You did not force that choice. You did not put him into a place to make that choice. He made that choice all on his own. Now, what happens when you expose? This is when a narcissist is going to start turning your allies into your enemies, bringing up smear campaigns, starting to put you into isolation. Exposing may lead them to starting smear campaigns on you to the rest of society, to your church, to your community, to your family, to your friends, and trying to tarnish your reputation and isolate you from support networks. If they can isolate you from the support networks, then you're not going to grow. You're not going to get clear about what is actually going on, and he'll seem like the victim or he'll seem like the good guy and you'll seem like the awful person. Narcissists are skilled at manipulating. And when behavior is exposed, oftentimes they'll launch into a way of, what do I need to do? What do I need to say to discredit you, to demolish you, to make you so you can't have a voice, so no one actually listens to you and people only listen to me? Maybe spreading false rumors, manipulating your friends and family, like engaging in character assassination to isolate you emotionally and socially from other people. Like doing anything and everything to keep you at bay from actually communicating the truth. Think of it this way. They're going to twist the narrative, paint you as the villain, gathering sympathy for themselves, and isolating you from those people. Because they've gone to and they've turned allies that you had, friends and family, against you. Because then they're like, I'm just concerned about her. Like, she's been acting really weird. And sometimes, okay, and side note, sometimes these smear campaigns, these are happening before the breakup even happens. Like communicating stuff to your friends and family to instill doubt in them that there's something wrong. So you need to understand this. You need to be careful. Sometimes it's already been going on. It's already been started. Now, third thing I want to bring up really quick is them reeling you back in. If you've watched some of the videos this week, we've talked about hoovering. We've talked about different aspects of it. And you start to see this piece of when you expose them, oftentimes they'll go through all these lengths of rage, of defensiveness, of smearing you. And then sometimes they'll get back to the place of, let me reel you back in. Okay. After doing this, they'll use aspects of false apologies, love bombing, just to regain control of the situation. Now, sometimes this is just to regain control of the situation for a moment so they can turn around and they can leave you. They can discard you. That way they're in control of the narrative, they're in control of what's going on, and they don't have to feel bad that you rejected them or that you abandoned them or that you left them. So sometimes it's just in a vindictive way of, let me get back with you so I can leave you instead of you leaving me. Okay? So think of it this way, like once the narcissist realizes that they're losing their grip on you because you're coming to terms, you're coming to awareness, you're starting to actually move forward, they might resort back to hoovering you back, apologizing profusely, promising change, showering you with affection, all of these things to lure you back into the relationship, emotionally to maintain control over you. Now, here's the thing. So you might be like, they're not going to do that. They already smeared me. They already said all these bad things. The thing you have to understand is when they smear you, they put you as being the abuser, as the awful person, and them as the victim. So it's not that hard to even keep that image to other people of like, well, I'm willing to forgive this person. I'm willing to give them one more chance. Let me interact with them and see how they're doing. And all of a sudden, now they've flipped it around and they've hoovered you back after you thought they wouldn't hoover you because you thought there's no way they're coming back because of how much they smeared me. We still see it happen. So you need to be careful and you need to protect yourself from that. So when you expose a narcissist, be careful. You're going to have rage. You're going to have defensiveness. You might have physical violence. So please be careful with that. You're going to have them walk through the aspect of trying to take your allies, turn them into enemies, and to be able to isolate you from your support system. And don't underestimate that they might still try to come back. If you need help with this, staying no contact, moving forward in your growth, in your development, please reach out for help. You can go to claritychallenge.net to take the challenge that we offer that gets you free, mentally and emotionally, from the toxic person consistently when you show up and you put in the work.